In this demo we are looking at 10 of my favourite vibe riffs to showcase the sonic possibilities of this Krozz Devices Krakenheart Vibe Pedal. I'm a big fan of Krozz Devices pedals. I've already demoed their fantastic airborne flanger, and the Krakenheart is another triumph. These 5 knobs here allow for all the tweaking you'd ever need. You also have a little switch here that takes you between vibe and vibrato. There's a momentary foot switch here which allows you to ramp the speed control. And if you have a look at the side of the pedal here, you've got this external jack to allow for an expression pedal to alter the speed. There's a little trim pot as well there, and internally there's another trim pot which allows you to adjust the low end of the pulse. The knobs are quite interactive, so I will dive into those as we go through the demo, so let's dive in. So everything's in the middle. Let's start off with a bit of Billy Joel, shall we? So lush off the bat. Now I want to show you the right hand foot switch because that will basically ramp up the speed to maximum, right? So we have, and then if I press the pedal down, so you can use it as a performance thing because it's not a latched pedal, it's a momentary switch. You just press and hold. As soon as you take your foot off, it stops, right? Really cool, isn't it? So a really cool little performance feature. Now if I flip the switch down, we're into vibrato, okay, which is quite subtle though, right? And again, you can use the foot switch. And off again, right? Now with the speed up to about 3 o'clock, I haven't changed anything else. A really good example of that is Ed O'Brien's part in Subterranean Homesick Alien. Goes a bit like this. Which you might not have noticed because you'll mainly be hearing the, you know, with the whammy pedal. But Ed's part on its own is lovely. Stuff. Now for the next few examples we're going to focus on the spectrum and the shadow knobs. A lot of these knobs are quite interactive, so it's just a bit of guidance really. The spectrum, if we take that first, that's altering the voice of the pedal. So I've got it completely anti-clockwise or at 0, so that's going to give you more mids, and if you turn it clockwise, all the way clockwise, then you get a more sort of classic vibe tone. But I really like it with these settings. For Hendrix is Machine Gun, which goes a bit like this. If we put a bit of gain after the pedal as well. And then with the spectrum up full, clean. And then with a bit of gain again. So it has quite a big impact on the sound of the vibe. Now I've turned up the spectrum and the shadow for this one, and we're going to do some classic Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs. So we have a bit of... So in that example, having the shadow up full really gives you much more definition of the bass tones. It really emphasises those. You get a bit more throb or thump to the vibe. Now for the next couple of examples, we're looking at Mad Season, and I've cranked the pulse or speed right the way up. So that sort of thing. Shadow's going to be at 0 for this one. For the next example, I'll turn it up full, but we're just looking at the spectrum, okay? So with the spectrum at 0, chords from Wake Up, right? So that's it at 0. And if we turn it up full, but it has quite a dramatic effect on the tone. So I'm going to cut it back to, what's that? About 2 o'clock, and I think we're pretty close to the album tone. So let's add a bit of gain, and we're going to have a look at X-Ray Mind to showcase the shadow knob. All the other settings are going to remain the same. So with the shadow knob fully counterclockwise or at 0, we have this. And then with the shadow knob up full, so it's accenting the higher notes rather than the lower notes in that example, right? So I think with the shadow knob at around 11 o'clock, we're in the sweet spot really for this tune. Now we can't leave Stone out, can we? So let's do some Temple of the Dog. Reach Down. I have to do this one. So with these settings, these settings we've got a much milder vibe slash phaser-esque tone. Great for Pink Floyd stuff. Or Breathe. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's well worth checking out if you can. I love Univibe, and this is an excellent Univibe pedal. I'm going to play you out with some Candlebox, Become to Tell.